If you want to be respected by others, the great thing is to respect yourself. Only by self-respect will you compel others to respect you. Fyodor Dostoevsky. Poor morals, degeneracy, lack of self-control, laziness, procrastination, abusing substances, abusing others, abusing yourself. These are all results of a modern day epidemic. That epidemic is the lack of self-respect. Welcome back to The Everyday Stoic. I am William Mulligan. I simplify, modernize, and make practical the ancient blueprints once taught by the great philosophers. And today I'll be talking about how you can regain your self-respect, and with that, regain the zest and gratitude you had for life. You want to respect yourself, then think of the people you respect. What characteristics do they have? How do they treat their time? How do they treat others? How do they treat themselves? You look at these things and you mimic this. You start to portray characteristics that you would respect. You start to treat people in a way that you would respect. You treat your time and yourself in a way that you would respect, so that in doing this, you become someone that you respect. So the exercise is simple. You pick 5 people that you respect. This can be people you know, people you see on TV, or even historical figures such as Marcus Aurelius, Socrates, Plato, or Epictetus. You pick these 5 people and you create a list and you write down the characteristics that you admire about them. So you pick out a few characteristics: the way they treat people, the way they behave, the way they carry themselves, their kindness, their generosity, their confidence. You pick all these things and you write them down into a list, maybe on your phone or on a piece of paper. And every single morning you spend 5 minutes meditating on this list. You look at the characteristics that you want to exude in that day, the way you want to use your time in that day, the way you want to treat yourselves and talk throughout your day. You look at this for 5 minutes and you plan to carry your day throughout this. And in doing this, at the start, you'll have to keep referring to this every morning. And you go out into the day and it reminds you, maybe someone's rude to you, and you remember that Marcus Aurelius sees people as this is their natural behaviors, and expecting rude people not to be rude is like expecting a fig tree not to produce figs. So I remember that, and then I handle that situation in a correct manner according to how Marcus Aurelius would have handled that situation. And you have to keep referring back to your booklet that you have. And over time, it becomes natural instinct, and you just do these things. So when someone's rude to you, you go, Marcus Aurelius. You have that in your character. And then what you do is you keep adding to this list over the years. You add new characteristics, and maybe some you had wrong judgment on, and you realize that that was wrong. So you remove them and you have new things, and you develop your character in this way. The philosopher king who was Marcus Aurelius, he's known as the last great emperor of Rome, and he's admired for his incredible character that carried him through the Marcomannic Wars, the Antonine Plague, through great tragedies and difficulties, and it cemented him as one of the greatest emperors and rulers to ever live, one of the greatest figures throughout history, and part of the great empire that is Rome. So Marcus Aurelius, in his Meditations, the first chapter is dedicated to the things he learned from people. It's a sort of thanks to these people for the things that he learned from them, the characteristics that he learned from these people. And it's also thanks to the gods for allowing him these things, for handing him these lessons throughout life. So he writes what he learned from his mother: generosity and piety, avoiding habits of the rich. And he writes things that he learned from his father, like manliness, discipline, things he learned from his tutors. His whole first chapter of his book is dedicated to things he learned, because this book was his personal diary. So it was actually meant for his eyes only. So he would have wrote, from my mother I learned generosity, piety, steering well clear of the habits of the rich, avoidance of wrongdoing, or even the thought of wrongdoing. And he would have looked at this. This diary was there to help him become a great leader. So he wrote about the things he struggled with. So he looked up to people like his mom, his dad, his tutors, and he used this technique to develop their characteristics and become the great man he is, but also to become the good man he wanted to be, because that is what he struggled with most. Musonius Rufus. During Nero's reign, all philosophers were banished to the island of Gyarros. Described as harsh and devoid of human culture, Musonius was able to survive and form a small community of philosophers. He specifically refers to his time in exile in his 9th discourse, pointing out its advantages for a practitioner of Stoicism. After the death of Nero, he returned. But not long after, during the reign of Vespasian, all philosophers were banished once again, except Musonius, who was so highly regarded for his philosophy and his practical take on philosophy, he was allowed to stay. And he is the reason Epictetus is the way he is. You will earn the respect of all if you begin by earning the respect of yourself. Don't expect to encourage good deeds in people conscious of your own misdeeds. Musonius Rufus. The second exercise to do in a way to gain self-respect and develop your character, much like the first exercise, is looking at people who are maybe gone down in history as the bad people. They've made huge errors, huge misjudgments of character, huge moral misjudgments. Maybe these are the wrongdoers and the evil people and the bad people in life. You look at these people and you write them down and you write the things that you don't want to be like them. So Nero, Emperor Nero, was evil, full of hate. He was a vulgar man. He did hideous, disgusting things throughout history and throughout his reign. And you would never want to be like Nero. So you write down perhaps Nero and write down the things that he did wrong and the things you want to avoid. But maybe you want to write people that resonate with you a bit closer, because we're not all emperors of Rome. So you write down people, maybe certain celebrities that portray certain qualities that you don't like. Maybe they're obsessed with money and looking cool, trying to get clout, these kind of things that maybe you don't admire and you think is not in line with a virtuous life that was prescribed by the Stoics to live the good life. So you write these things down and you meditate on these ideas, things you don't want to be. And this can work with you if maybe you see people that exude laziness or procrastination, a huge advocate for wasting your time. You can look at this person and the next time you're doom scrolling, you can go, I don't want to be like that person. I don't want to become like that person. So you write down these people and the negative characteristics they have, and you avoid doing these things. And then it will start to creep into your life that these are things that you avoid, and you develop the habit of avoiding these things. Just like the first exercise, you develop the habit of becoming these things. With the second exercise, you develop the habit of not becoming these things. And lastly, to overcome your desires and to stop wasting time. I count him braver who overcomes his desires than him who conquers his enemies. For the hardest victory is over self. Aristotle. If we were to measure what is good by how much pleasure it brings, nothing would be better than self-control. If we were to measure what is to be avoided by its pain, nothing would be more painful than lack of self-control. Musonius Rufus. Now, to overcome your desires and to stop procrastinating or wasting time. And I've got a small trick for that. Memento Mori. It is a Latin word that is popular amongst Stoics, and it translates roughly to remember death or remember that you are mortal. It is this reminder of death and your mortality that reminds you that this time right here is precious and that is all that we have. So with this calendar, the white unfilled square is the week that you have right now. And every week that goes by, you fill in one of those squares. So all that black there is gone. That's my history, that's the past. I can do nothing to change that. And all this white here is my future, potential future. I might never get it, so you don't know. And you can't do anything to change that. So all you have is that unfilled square right there. And that's the present moment here. So with the poster, every time you fill that in, it just reminds you of your own mortality. So Memento Mori helps you to be grateful for every moment you have and to stop procrastinating, stop wasting time, and take every moment as the gift that it is. Start doing the things that you admire and avoid the things that you don't admire. Be present. The only person you are destined to be is the person you are right now. So People put things off in hopes that their future self will solve this problem, will deal with the problem, because it's easier to put things off for your future self. But the truth is, your future self is you, but living with the consequences of your current actions. So if you put off a load of tasks, then your future self will have developed the habit of putting off tasks. So now they're lazier, but now they have a load of tasks to achieve. So just remember that your future self is you living with the consequences of your present actions. So make the correct actions in this present moment so your future self has better foundations to stand on. Today's video is brought to you by the Memento Mori life calendar, which is a calendar. It counts down your weeks until the end of your life. It sounds very morbid, I know, but everyone that has started to use it has realized it's not morbid, it's beautiful. It's understanding the importance and beauty of the present moment we have. The poster comes with the wooden magnetic frames on nice high quality card and leather strap. So it's ready to go the moment you get it. Take it out of the tube, unwrap it, put it up, and you're ready to go. And you can get 10% off with code Memento Mori. The link is in the description. I'm trying to remember everything. Okay. And if you made it this far into the video, it's something I like to do with all you viewers. It's a fun little routine we've got going on now, a little game we play, and I like seeing how many people make it to the end. So I know I've said this like a million times. When I first started doing it, I think it was like 1% or 0.1%, can't remember the exact number, but 0.1% of people that watch the video would make it to that point. So the number's actually gone higher, so that's cool. And I like seeing the comments and I can reply to those comments. But I ask you to comment something if you made it to this part of the video. And that comment will be, you know what it will be. It will be Verissimus. It's a book by Donald Robertson. It's a graphic novel by Donald Robertson. Very cool. It's about Marcus Aurelius. It's actually one of my favorite reads of Stoic literature. It's very well written. The research that's gone into it is incredible, and it's portrayed in such a way that's easy and fun to read. And this book has not got nearly enough recognition than it deserves. And I just think Donald Robertson's awesome. The stuff he teaches is awesome. So if you made it this far, comment Verissimus. That's how you spell it. Because if someone said that to me, I wouldn't know how to spell it. So yeah, comment that. So I know you made it this far, and I recommend you check out the book, or at least check out Donald Robertson. If you're not in the position to be buying books right this very moment, check out Donald Robertson. Get involved in his stuff. You'll see how good he is, and it'll probably convince you to buy his book. So thank you for watching. Thank you for all your support. Thank you for the YouTube members. You can become a YouTube member and have access to the perks if you click join below. Thank you for everyone at Instagram. We're like 100 followers off 500,000, which is very cool. The memes have been going insane. Insane, that's an odd word, but they've been really popular. And so follow me at The Everyday Stoic, at William MulliganBrother, my personal page, and just have a great day. Oh, and someone was asking, people were asking about the Amor Fati t-shirt, which I'm not wearing right now. You can get it on the website, which is the same website as the Memento Mori life calendar. So check out there. And there's also the Memento Mori t-shirt. Thank you for watching. I hope you have a great day.